service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 area companies with business solutions since 1984. I'm Bud Lowell. The full AccuWeather forecast is right across the top of all of these CNC local news pages. The former mayor of Brockport has been found guilty of violating village zoning codes. Connie Castaneda was charged with 5 counts of illegally renting out rooms in her single-family house to SUNY Brockport students. She was cleared on 14 counts of official misconduct earlier this year, coming from the same investigation. But the civil violations remain. She'll have to pay a fine to be determined at sentencing, although her lawyer says she will likely appeal. Castaneda lost her seat in the village elections back in June. Moody's Investor Service downgraded Monroe County's credit rating this week, and Democrats on the Monroe County legislature said that confirms their belief that county finances are on a downward spiral. The administration of Republican County Executive Maggie Brooks said the real issue here is that Moody's wants Monroe County to raise property taxes, which Brooks refuses to do. Dropping the county's credit rating from A3 to Baa1 means the county has to pay more on the money it borrows for highway and construction projects. Democrat Paul Haney said this is because the county relies too much on one-shot revenue sources and accounting gimmicks to balance its budgets each year. He said the Republican legislature majority ignores Democratic proposals for spending reductions. But County Chief Financial Officer Robert Franklin says there is nothing new in Moody's view of Monroe County's finances. Franklin said Moody's just wants to see the county raise taxes to provide a bigger revenue base. Meanwhile, the city of Rochester was quick to point out that its bonds got a best quality designation from Moody's. The agency said Rochester has strong fiscal management and it expects city finances to remain stable despite the problems facing urban areas. Rochester Mayor Tom Richards picked up endorsements from several city employee unions for his re-election campaign this week. Support for the mayor came from the Police Locust Club, the Rochester Firefighters Association, AFSCME Local 1635, plus the unions representing city library staff and the school district support staff. Mayor Richards' primary challenger, City Council President Lovely Warren, said that shows the mayor is a special interest candidate. She said her concerns are with the average people of Rochester. In the town of Greece, Democratic supervisor candidate Dick Beebe cuts the ribbon on his campaign headquarters Thursday. It's at 2888 Dewey Avenue in the Dewey Commercial Corridor. That location is strategic. One of Beebe's issues is redevelopment of that area, which recently got the revitalized Northgate Plaza and now is seeing new development spreading out from that location. Beebe said that section of town offers a unique mix of challenges and opportunities. Beebe is a former county legislator. He's running against Republican Assemblyman Bill Rylick for the supervisor's office. Current supervisor John Auberger is term limited. The government representative in Kodak's Chapter 11 bankruptcy case is asking the court to reject the financial incentives that would be paid to top Kodak management as part of the company's reorganization. Kodak announced more than a year ago that it intended to pay substantial bonuses to 15 top executives, including CEO Antonio Perez. This is if the company successfully gets out of bankruptcy. The bonuses could total more than $17.5 million in cash and new Kodak stock. The exact amount depends on how successful the top brass is in paying off the company's creditors. U.S. Trustee Tracy Hope Davis filed an objection this week. She wants Judge Alan Groper to throw out the incentives. Davis acts as the primary watchdog to ensure compliance with the bankruptcy code. She said there is no legal basis in bankruptcy law to allow for such incentive payments to the Kodak execs. Kodak has announced the name of 8 people who will sit on the reorganized company's new board of trustees when Kodak emerges from bankruptcy. The 9th will be CEO Antonio Perez, who is staying on as head of Kodak until his replacement is named. Only 3, counting Perez, are current board members. The new Kodak trustees include heads of capital investment firms like Evergreen Capital Partners, firms that specialize in corporate turnarounds. Some are heads of manufacturing companies, and one heads a major telecommunications firm. A confirmation hearing on Kodak's reorganization plan will be held next week in U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Manhattan. A man was killed early Thursday morning when he was struck by a train in Fairport. Village police said the accident happened along O'Connor Road, about a quarter of a mile from the Main Street crossing. Officers were interviewing the conductor and the engineer of the CSX freight train. They'll also be reviewing video from the locomotive's cameras. The railroad also called its own investigators to the scene. CSX temporarily closed the rail line through Fairport for the investigation. Rochester police said a 15-year-old boy was killed Wednesday night when an SUV hit a bicycle near the Red Wing Plaza on Hollenbeck Street. Captain John Corbelli said the Rochester teenager entered the street suddenly from behind a tractor-trailer truck right into the path of the oncoming SUV, which struck him. The 40-year-old Rochester woman driving the vehicle wasn't ticketed. Police said neither speed nor alcohol were involved. The 15-year-old was rushed to Strong Memorial Hospital but died there late Wednesday night. The police investigation is continuing. A motorcyclist is in critical condition after colliding with a pickup truck late Wednesday night in Sweden. Monroe County Sheriff's Office says this was at the corner of Sweden Walker Road and East Avenue about 10 p.m., and the cause is being investigated. The Sheriff's Office also has charged a Parma man with burglary. Deputies said 20-year-old Kyle Ronco walked into the garage of a home on Spencer Road last month. They believe he was looking for items to steal. Ronco has been charged with identity theft and criminal possession of stolen property because he allegedly had on him a stolen credit card that was taken from a car on Parma Center Road. He's in the Monroe County Jail on $25,000 bail. And a Monroe County court jury has found a 21-year-old city man guilty of a murder he committed when he was 14. Taj Anderson was convicted of a second-degree murder charge Wednesday in the shooting of Stacy Long, who was gunned down outside the Campbell Street Community Center in 2005. Investigators got some breaks in the case about 18 months ago, leads that led them to Anderson. He faces 15 years to life in prison when he's sentenced on September 19th. To the left of the player window, you'll find links to these and other stories, and at the bottom of the page, links that you can use to post news and what you know directly to us. Next news podcast is As It Happens. Updates are as necessary, and as always, I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.